Hello everyone, I'm the Sports 101 and today I'll be giving you my predictions for week 4 of the NFL season. Set to predict all these games happening in week 4. And look, I'll be honest with you guys, my predictions have not gone well as of late. My predictions, I guess you could say they are about as embarrassing as the Cowboys' defense has been the past couple of weeks. I mean, for example, last week we only went 6-10. That's just unacceptable. We'll try to do better this time. And that gets us started with the Jaguars and the Texans. Jacksonville now 0-3 after getting embarrassed by the Buffalo Bills. Texans coming off a blowout loss of their own, also losing to an undefeated team. In their case, it was the Vikings. Look, I'm taking Houston here. I feel like in the past, Houston has been a tough matchup for Jacksonville. Houston has typically had the edge. Jacksonville did manage to beat them, I believe, last year in Houston. But I just feel like these two teams match up. It's advantage Texans. I think Houston gets back on track with a win. Steelers, Colts. The Colts found a way to get a win last week against the Chicago Bears. And I'm still thinking about the Colts having a horrible run defense. And I think that's something the Steelers can easily exploit on their way to a victory. Give me Pittsburgh. Broncos and Jets going at in the Meadowlands. The Jets look like the team that a lot of people thought they were going to be when they went and acquired Aaron frickin' Rodgers. I think that team is set to embarrass the Broncos on Sunday. So give me the Jets. Next up, it's my Kansas City Chiefs taking on the LA Chargers. Okay, someone probably needs to help me. I feel like I should not be this confident going into a Chiefs game. I think that this game is going to be about as lopsided a Chiefs victory as we've seen this year. Granted, that's not saying much, seeing as all three of Kansas City's games have come down to the final minute. But I feel like they're going to beat the Chargers possibly by multiple scores. I mean, this is a Chiefs team that they know they have to play better. They're going to be motivated to play better against a Chargers team that, okay, they want to run the ball, but the Chiefs' run defense has been actually fairly good this season. And the Chargers, they're going to be missing some key players. Their offensive tackle, Joe Alt, probably going to miss this game. Derwin James, he gets suspended for this game. They might not even have Justin Herbert. The only reason this game is not my lock of the week is because it's a division game. And as many an NFL fan will tell you, those games seem to be the most unpredictable of all the division games. Of all the NFL games, I should say. But yeah, Kansas City, they should be able to beat the Chargers, even in SoFi. Next up, Cleveland and the Raiders. I feel like this one is a game that could go either way. Both these teams coming off losses. Both will be motivated to get back in the win column. But I do feel like the Browns' passing attack will actually be pretty good this week. Give me Cleveland to earn a road victory over the Raiders. Sunday Night Football will see the Buffalo Bills travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Buffalo goes in 3-0, and I think this is their first loss. I'm taking the Ravens. I think the Ravens play like their normal regular season selves, that is a fairly dominant team with an MVP caliber quarterback. I think that Buffalo will not be able to move the ball that well against the Raven defense that tends to stop the run. I think the Bills will have to be forced to pass. Now, granted, I think the Bills can have some success through the air, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So I'm taking the Ravens. Then we got the Titans and Dolphins, one of two games to take place this coming Monday. And I'm just not sure who to pick here. I guess the Dolphins. I just feel like I can't trust the Titan quarterbacking situation. I cannot trust Will Levis to earn a win in Miami, even if the Dolphins are forced to go to their second or third string quarterback. It just doesn't matter to me. Give me Miami, I guess. Then we got the Bengals and the Panthers. This is one of those games that I feel like I would be very confident about. Heck, just last week, I would have been very confident telling you that the Bengals were going to go into Carolina and beat the Panthers. But after last week, I'm not so sure. You have the Panthers, now quarterbacked by Andy Dalton. He put a whooping on those Raiders last week. Made the offense look actually good. And then you have Cincinnati, who could not stop the freaking Commanders. And so now they got two losses to the teams that most people thought they were going to beat. I'm still taking Cincinnati, partly because, you gotta figure that the Bengals that everyone expects are going to show up sooner or later, right? They gotta show up sooner or later. And even then, the Bengals, I feel like they're just better against teams that will want to throw the ball through the air. So I don't think you're going to see Andy Dalton quite as good this week. I think the Bengals will actually get a stop. And I think Cincinnati wins. Moving on, Patriots 49ers. This is my lock of the week. I'm taking the 49ers. Yes, the 49ers, they have a lot of injuries right now, but come on, if they can't stop the Patriots from going into Santa Clara on a cross-country road trip and beating them, 49ers will have some questions they need to answer. Because this is not a Patriot offense that should be having much success of any kind against the 49ers. Looking elsewhere, NFC, we got the Thursday night game, Cowboys and Giants. Dallas will prove here, I believe, that they are one of the more superior teams in this East Division. And I'm not sure it's going to be close. Give me Dallas. Vikings-Packers. This one's going to be interesting. Now, Vikings and Packers. Vikings come in undefeated. One of the more surprising teams in the NFL. I'm not sure there's too many people that expected Sam Darnold to get off to the start he is. But the Packers have been pretty good despite losing Jordan Love. And they might get him back on Sunday. Nothing definitive on the Jordan Love situation as far as I know. But it does sound like he is trending towards playing on Sunday. And if that's the case, I think that's bad news for Minnesota. I think, especially the Vikings having to go into Lambeau Field. I like Green Bay to get the win and give the Vikings their first loss of the season. Next up is the Rams and the Bears. This is my upset of the week. I'm taking LA. Yes, LA, like the 49ers, they are They have a lot of injuries, let's just say that. They're not quite as injured as San Francisco, but they're still got a decent amount of injuries. They're going to go into Chicago. I think they're going to do some numbers through the air. Even though they do not have Cooper Kupp, they do not have Puka Nacua, I still think they'll figure things out and they'll get a slim victory over the Bears. That plus I don't feel like I can trust Caleb Williams at this point. Give me the Rams. Eagles and Tampa going at it. Rematch of last year's wild card round, and I think this one's going to be a lot more competitive than that one was. Where Tampa effectively got a Philly team that was ready to die. That being said, this Eagles team, I think they do a better job here. Saquon might not have that big an impact. I mean, you have him going up against this Tampa D that historically has been pretty good against the run, so yeah, it might not be a big Saquon game. They might have to depend more on Jalen Hurts. They might have to depend more on Devontae Smith. But I still think it's enough for Philly to get the job done. I'm taking the Eagles. Saints and Falcons, this one I think could go either way. But I'm taking the Saints because you take Derek Carr, you put him in a warm temperature area where the chances of him getting pressured are fairly low. I'm taking the Saints in that situation. I think that situation happens on Sunday. Assuming this game happens, assuming it's not disrupted by the hurricane coming to that area. And no, I'm not talking about the Saints when I mention a hurricane. But yeah, I'm taking New Orleans. Then we got the Commanders against the Cardinals. I think Arizona is going to take advantage of a bad Washington pass defense, a bad Washington defense in general, and I think Arizona gets the win here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders really make a push for that upset. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders upset the Cardinals, actually, with how good Jaden Daniels has been playing. But yeah, I'm taking Arizona. I think their offense at this point is a better unit than Washington's. And then we have Seahawks Lions. This one's the actually interesting Monday night game. Seattle, they have proven to be a pretty good unit at defending the pass. So maybe that doesn't work for Detroit, but that was never their identity anyway. Their identity to me was team that will stop you from running the ball and team that will win the run game anyway. And ultimately, I think that's what they're going to do to beat the Seahawks. So give me Detroit. But there you go. There's my picks for week 4 of the NFL season. If you liked, please like and subscribe for more to come in the following weeks. I've been the Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all later.